Master B, what is up?
What's up, dog?
Dude, the pile beside you this evening almost looks like some kind of like Christmas pile. I'm not gonna bug you.
Oh,
We've got a busy night. We'll get into it. But it looks so big. Oh,
yes. Feels
so
like that.
big. Oh, it feels like that. I bet it does. Wherever your brain goes, that's on you.
Yeah. True
Yeah.
that. True
How you
that.
doing, man? How you doing
I'm
tonight?
doing good, dude. How are you? Dude, look at that waiting room.
I
Holy
know.
smokes, dude.
Dude, I'm actually very, very excited. I don't know.
Wow.
You know, what's so silly is I'm trying to remind myself that, and you know how this goes. Anybody who's done the shows kind of knows how this goes. There's a couple laps you can do, right? And there's also only so many times I can go back into the building that day without seeming like some kind of fucking weirdo. But like, you know, you don't want to just linger at somebody's table too long. So, you know, you kind of want to check what they've got. And at the same time, because that's also the worst part. And B, you're going to know this one, being friends with the makers, there's times where you're kind of like, yeah, I want to catch up. Shh, I want to see your toys. I, I, we will talk in 5 seconds. I want to buy this up because I know there's people right behind me eyeing your table. And if I don't get to that fucking piece right there before that guy behind me gets it, I'm going to lose my shit. So we will catch up in a moment, my friend. You know what I mean? So there's that side of it where you're like, I just want to get to that. And then there's the other side of it where you're like, I want to chit chat with you. I want to catch up. And I also see that there's people who want to talk to you about what you do and what you make and everything else. So it's like that fine line of visiting some homies, grabbing some stuff, touring the
Mm-hmm.
tables. Oh, but I'm so excited. I'm just trying to remind myself it's like that no matter what, I'll get to see some folks. There's some folks that aren't necessarily vending, so I can drag them out and everything. And summertime in Toronto is pretty good. There is art everywhere, man. I know it's lame for some folks, but I actually met with Doc Horror, I think, last week. We were having some coffee, and I was like, dude, check that out. Isn't that sick? And like just on one of like the I don't even know, telephone poles, I guess. Somebody had like nailed up like a cutout of like something they had made, just like a random piece. And then he's just like, yeah, check that one across the street. There's a fucking canvas. Somebody else right across the street had just hung up a straight up canvas on this one. And you're like, that's what I love about Toronto, man.
Nice.
Like, there's visual noise everywhere. And it's so lovely to see, especially like, I shit you not to be all weird and but when I first moved down here, I didn't know many people, and it was really nice when you just go for a walk and you start recognizing certain signatures, certain faces, and it just kind of makes you feel a little bit more a part of the community, a part of the group. You're starting to see certain things. You look them up online. You know what I mean? It's just kind of makes you feel a little bit more like there's art there. It's more exploratory, let's say. I don't know. It's fucking. It's human. Is what it is. It's just sick.
Yes to all that, dude. It is. It's a hell of a thing, man. When you get in there, and if you're not vending, you get in there, and it's like Jesus Christ, dude. You want to talk to everybody, and you want to catch up, and you want to meet people, but at the same time, like as you're talking, you're like, yeah, oh, yeah, great to meet you. You're like kind of looking at their table, and like, oh, so what's the deal with this one over here? And hey, can you maybe set that one aside? And it's fun, dude. It is fun. I was telling the fellas before you jumped in that man, the jealousy is thick, my man. It
Well,
is gonna be a fucking show of shows out there, dude. I'm excited for you guys, man.
I think even the best part about this, and this is what this shit's all about, is as somebody who's lived down here almost 5 years, there's artists that are going to be vending that I wasn't even familiar with in the
Hmm.
area, and that's kind of what this shit's all about, is being able to actually see firsthand the other makers in this scene and people close to you that without this you wouldn't see. And it's the overlap is hilarious. Back to that visual noise. There's this dude, Urban Ninja Squadron. He puts all these like stickers up everywhere, and to see him posting stuff with the Toronto Toy Riot posters and his stickers all along there. And then I'm looking at one of the pieces today, and there's this one donut. She does a bunch of like donut pieces, and I think we've even pulled up some of their work before. They do a lot of like Godzilla stuff. So of course, they've seen Scott Yo-Yo Dine's little exclusives with the Godzilla and the little CN Tower, and they're there telling their friend like, "Oh, we got to get all." It's like the overlaps are just donut hustler. There we go. But the overlaps are just so sick to see, even in your own backyard, all this little. I was telling you, man, brought the Toys Alive stickers into the pot shop. Even one of the customers looked at their partner and they're like, "This is those toy guys. Those toy guys." I'm sitting there being like, "Yes, they are." You know what I mean? You're just selling them their thing, but you're like, "Yes, those are those toy guys." You don't know who we are, but you do know who we are, which I'll take it.
They do know that there's some weird little show that goes on once a week, right? I got a bunch of issues of number 7 for Future Retroistic and started dropping those off at random places, dude. And people are like, "Is this what you're talking about?" I'm like, "That's kind of what I'm talking about. That's a good little intro. Just take a little gander and
Right.
see what you got in there."
Hey, I've been chatting away here nonstop. You want to say hi to the homies all in the waiting room or in the
I
comment section there?
I will do that, man. I will do that. Micah, what's up, dog? Micah is working on a couple things. One of them being with us, so that'll be fun, non-toy related, but we'll talk about that at some point in the future. 8-Bit Mike, congratulations on the contest winning for shoot, I guess it was Lab Monkey 9 did a contest and 8-Bit Mike won that. Way to go. Scott with a K, you're in the waiting room. What's up? Suki, what's going on? Gray Skull, what's up, dog? I thought you were on tonight. Maybe not. Maybe I'm tripping. Slightly Adrift, my dude. What's up? Headcase, my dude. What's up? Toys and Tits, hello. Bracori, yo. General Porp? I think that is General Porp. What up, dog? Super Terrible Toys. Hello. Sadat. What is going on? Believe that's King Spider. Folklore. 205 in a row. You the man. Abaddon. What's going on? Ashley K. What's going on? Fletcher. What's up, dude? Bootleg Overdose. Edward. Hello. Dre Dog. What's going on? Man, that's a lot of people. Kevin Cold Cuts, what's up, dude? I think I missed you. We are actually going to work in a Kevin Cold Cuts giveaway towards the end of the show. I do have some questions for people about new artists coming to the show, and Kevin Cold Cuts being one of them, so that will be fun. Lots of people, dude. Mm-hmm. You're on mute, actually. Mm.
But Super Terrible Toys was actually saying he's going to be here tomorrow, early afternoon. Ashley Kate Alvarado was saying the same thing. Here I thought I was doing my due diligence. I managed to get the Saturday, Sunday off. I didn't think to get the Friday off.
Nice,
So
dude.
here I
Nice.
didn't think to do that. So of course I think 4T is actually coming into town Friday as well. They were hitting me up, and it dawned on me.
Nice.
I was like, oh shit! I hope that they're not hitting me up because like they're going to be in Toronto Friday night and no idea what to do, where to go. So anybody who's arriving in Toronto early and you're lost, confused, bored, etc., let me know. Reach out in the DMs. I'll make sure I give you my phone number, even though I'm going to be kind of on and off work schedule stuff. We can always we can throw on some gloves, we can cast some resin, we can just fucking have a blast, do
There you
whatever's
go,
up.
man. There you go,
Have
man.
a
Before we
bird.
jump in with the homies, dude, what are you looking forward to the most besides the obvious hanging out with the splendid crowd you're about to meet?
Oh, goodness. I really don't know. We are in an awkward position, I feel. And you'll understand this, I hope, but some of the dudes won't. But it's always a little bit strange. We ride that fine line of we're so immersed in this scene, but we're really not makers. At the same time, I know it's almost like impossible to meet a bunch of other makers and then not like it was probably like my first time ever meeting other makers, not having a couple little things in my pocket, and you're just like, oh shit, these dudes always have miscasts on them. They're always gonna have some miscast or something. And so I find it's just tough because, and this goes for any of you there that I see there either. If I give you something that I've got on me, it's not a fucking trade. If you've got things on your table that you have a price tag on that somebody is looking to give you money for, I don't care who they are. I don't care how sexy they are. They're looking to buy it. Anything they give you afterwards is just because they like you and they want to give you something on top of it. That's all. You know? So, because I think that's always a bit tough. It's like, dudes, like, like if we're there and we're trying to actually purchase some of your work, we're trying to actually purchase some of your work. None of us are trying to actually like weasel a deal or get a trade in or any of that kind of jazz. And at the same time, I'm also lucky. I don't make my own molds, so everything I have is from somebody else. I've got like a little sprinkling, a smorgasbord of other makers who have kind of given me the permission to cast from their molds. So I always feel like if I give them a piece, it's almost like I'm giving you a piece that, like, yes, I casted it, but this was also sculpted and molded by DNS, or this mold was gifted by 8-Bit Mike. So that's always fun. I would say, just all in all, dude, I'm just excited to see the people. I'm probably most excited to see the blending of the people in general, seeing the two worlds collide. There we go. I'll answer your question more definitively. I'm very excited to see the two worlds collide of Toronto folks that I already know, and global people that I know, and new makers and crafters and people just into this scene, all in one place, and good vibes. And
Yeah, all of that.
is that fair?
Dude, that great answer, man. And you're right, dude. And everybody, it's one of those things, man, where, and I think, this will probably hit home a little bit more after the show or when you're at the show, dude. But I think one of the like recurring themes when we go to these shows like this, and I think for everybody, it's at the end of the show, it's like, yeah, like the show itself was cool, but there was all this other stuff that we've just been talking about that really adds to it. I think Toronto's going to be uh, a very, very good example of that, just based on what we've been seeing. So,
See what I feel bad. Von Fake Name came down at one point. It was in the winter, and the issue with that is you can basically, it's like any city. You can kind of do two things, right? Like, you can go into places like museums, art galleries, that kind of shit, or you can basically walk down the street and hum and haw like, oh, you want to go in there? Maybe they've got some interesting bootlegs or toys, or oh, you ready to eat? Yeah, maybe we hop in there. We grab some food. Like, that's really all you can do. Come summer, it really is kind of just like, oh, yo, we'll pop down this alleyway. There's Graffiti Alley, and you're just kind of like, yo, let's check this stuff out. Let's just kind of hang out for a little bit. Maybe bring a couple toys, get some cool toy shots. I don't know. Like, it's Chinatown's right there. It'll be good, man. It'll be good. And if anything, the dudes who are throwing this show will have such a good tourist idea of like, hey guys, if you're hitting this up, you should probably go hit that up. They've all lived in the city for a long time, and they're way more immersed in this culture than myself.
nice. Yeah. It's going to be a good one, man. It's, what do you say we bring these dudes in, eh?
Let's start bringing them in, and I can't stress this enough. Nobody get fucking stuck out in the cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of people. Reach out. Nobody's a stranger here. I'm not as creepy as I come off on here. If you need a shower, you need a coffee. I don't even need to hang around on all your to dos in business, but like, just want to make sure everybody's good when they're down here. Nobody gets stranded. Nobody gets stuck or anything like that. All right. You guys all good down below? No, fucking gotta add Doc Horror first. So look at these. We've got the sticker, the shirt. Is that everybody in there? All right, we got everybody in there. Okay. Welcome, Jen.
Here's a story of a lovely lady.
All right, hold up, bro. So I see Matt in the waiting room. I don't see Matt on the screen. Is he frozen?
Okay, so Matt hopped out there. He'll probably hop in again there because we could see him down below, but it seems like his screen didn't transfer on up above there.
Yeah. I think there was wow, Dre, you had me fooled, bro. I was about ready to say, look at the screen on Dre's face. That's amazing. Well done, dude. Well done. Gentlemen, what the hell's going on?
Hey.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right, here's a question. How many of us right now have paintbrushes that we can't see on screen, like right here? Yeah. Hey, Crumbs, can I just wanted to highlight something because you said about the desire to hang out at the show and you don't want to linger on a table and stuff. So the Transact Club is 2 rooms that we have. There's the main vendor hall, and then there's a front room called the living room. That's where the community table is going to be. It's where the Toy Riot merch table is going to be. It's where the Kit Bash table is going to be. But also they have like comfy chairs and like coffee tables. And so there's going to be a few of those there. So you can actually just grab someone and be like, let's just go chat in the chill room that's a little more quiet. So,
wow,
yeah.
sounds intimate.
Right.
Hot
Yeah,
damn,
yeah.
Dave.
I mean, depending on how noisy people get when they're kit bashing at the kit bash table, because I know some people are bringing their kids, right? So, could be a little but you never know. Yeah.
True, true.
So many questions, even with that alone coming up, man. And you probably brought it up last time. How did you guys end up landing on this venue? I'm sure this has already come up, but please enlighten us on the process behind that.
Before, wow, like well before even Jay and I had a conversation, and like even longer before Dominic came on board in the fall. Um, I had been going to zine fairs and indie events at the Transact for like the past 20 plus years. They've been an indie venue in the city since like 71. They're a nonprofit. And it was June of last year, so just under a year, where I was like, I want to throw a show. And so I started just reaching out to venues. And because it's a nonprofit, it's an indie space, part of it was finding a space that was affordable so we could pass those savings on to the vendors. And it wasn't even a question. If I told you, like, if I gave you like the legit numbers, I'm not going to like quote all the numbers of venue rentals, but I can tell you that most conventional venue rentals were more than double for a day what we're paying for the weekend. And so that obviously was a big factor, right? But also the history of that place. Like, I've been going there since my 20s. And the fact that they're still around and still supporting independent arts, like mostly music and stuff, but like other events too, right? Like I was just like, it's not even a question. Like it's, it aligns, I guess, with like the values of the show as we see them, right? So that's yeah.
That's perfect. B, I
Yeah.
think I cut you off at the beginning there, man. You have something you want to wind it up and ready to jump out with?
Oh, no, not really. I was just gonna lead off with just for anybody who doesn't know what's going on this weekend, if you've been living on another planet recently, which is completely fine. If you were, I don't blame you. But Scott with a K, if you could describe the Toronto Toy Riot in one sentence or a couple sentences, tell everybody what's going on this weekend.
Toronto Toy Riot is an indie toy expo with about 35 artists who will actually be there live and in person, selling independent toys, resin, vinyl, plush, wood, die-cast metal, basically any physical media you can think of. Everything will be for sale. It's free admission. It's meant to be accessible because toys are an accessible medium, we think. And yeah, it's a celebration of indie culture specifically through this one medium. It's toys. I don't know how to say it. Is that good? I guess that's good.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
great answer. Great answer, man. I know that like this, I mean, just from talking to you over the years, this is something that's kind of been building a little bit as far as like an idea of, hey, we need to have something in Toronto. What is it about Toronto that you think is going to offer a little bit of a different show than what we've seen in the past as far as indie toy shows? I know that you've kind of highlighted a bunch of things in the post, but what is it about Toronto that people are going to see that's a little bit different than what we've seen?
Um, that's a good question. Well, for one,
It's
a
free,
lot
right?
more. Yeah, well, it's free. I think that's
Yep.
really unique about this. It was really important to make sure that there were no barriers to any audience, whether they were new or knew about this work.
Cool.
I think that's really important, right? Like, if you want to grow a community and grow an like a group of like an audience and patrons for a creative community, I think the best thing to do is to remove every possible barrier that you can between you and that audience.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's a really unique thing. Like Toronto has a rich history of indie culture. In the 90s, it was like the real hub of like zine culture in the city. There's still a thriving zine community here. Um, its indie music scene has always been really phenomenal. The film scene, like everything. Like Toronto's just a really great city for indie culture. if you know where to find it.
Yeah.
And I think that like for us, like the thing that makes it different, at least for like Grayskull and I, is that we don't have to drive for 16 hours to hang out with our friends.
Sure. 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 But
you
I
know,
mean, I think there's a lot of like reality to that, man, when you're talking about like so many artists coming from one area and you're not looking at like travel expenses, because if you're really trying to come out in the black, man, that's something that we talk about all the time, which is ironically kind of why I think that it turns into a thing of man, it was really great to see everybody and meet everybody. It was really surreal and it was really cool to hang out. um I don't know where that question was going. uh that was a dead stop, dude.
well,
uh
I think that like yes, this is an event, and yes, we want it to do well in terms of audience and sales for all the artists. We want artists to feel supported. But I've said this time and again, the most incredible thing for me, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. I mean, it sounds like a joke when I say I don't want to have to travel to the States to see my friends, but
yeah.
also, this community, in the events that we do, like there's a real fellowship there. And I think having an opportunity, especially for people who maybe even haven't been to Canada or Toronto before, like
Sure.
come somewhere new, check something out, like make a trip of it, and we can be your guides through that. Absolutely. Um, if you have questions about like thrift stores, toy stores, like for all you American friends who are coming up, like just hit us up.
Yeah.
We will definitely have suggestions.
Where I was going with that one before it just came back to me was that the stuff that's coming out for free, the admission, of course, but then some of the other stuff, man, it seems like a very artist friendly show, and with a bunch of artists being in Toronto, um, that's a double score. Brettster, what's going on, Brettster? Oh, you're on mute. Come
There we
on,
go.
you old pro. What's going on?
Well, no, it's not a Toys Alive night without saying you're on mute.
Abs- you got that right.
Yeah,
Dude, what's you're going to, I mean, you've been to plenty of shows. You've vended at a few shows.
yeah.
Um, is going into this one into a different country, even though it's not all that far, is the frame of mind going into this one still the same as going into the ARs locally?
Um, yeah, I guess I think, and I'm saying this like um maybe I'm being a little more casual about it. It's more I want to be more like it's the like seeing Scott and Dre and the guys said it's like it's for me it's an opportunity to like keep it a little smaller because it's like all right, traveling solo, driving, all like it's a lot to move stuff around, so I want to come with less stuff
Mm,
and just kind of have it be a little more focused, have it be um easier for me so that it gives me more time to see the people that I don't get to see very often, and
sure.
kind of um and just kind of have it be as little stress as I can control.
Yeah, dude. And I think that's probably produces the best results from the other shows, right? Like it's more of a that type of setup. And then if you sell some stuff, and make some money back, fucking A, even better, you know?
Yeah, and yeah, I've kind of been. Uh, I'm sure people have noticed that I was kind of on a hiatus for a while. That it was just I didn't really even realize it until I put some stuff out there last week that it had been like 5 or 6 months since the
Bro,
last.
I saw your post come up and I'm like, oh shit, Porp's still alive. Look
Yeah,
at that.
I'm still ticking. I'm still ticking. I'm here, but yeah. So it's like I'm kind of I have a little more time to make some things and just kind of doing what I've been doing this whole time that I've been doing general purpose. Is just things that make me laugh, make me happy, that it's like I'm just pursuing my however you might categorize my creative vision. I'm just focused on that, and like I'll have some familiar things, and things are kind of shifting a little bit as to what I'm working on, and it's all evolving.
Nice. Yeah, dude, that last post that you had, some of those figures were fucking excellent, dude. I was like, ah, shit. Oh, what you
Well,
got? You got a little sample there for us?
Yeah, this is the
Oh
muscle
wow.
muscle builder, and it's and where is she? There's I don't know, clever girls. Oh, here she is. A newer clever girl. Kind of changing how I make things. As you can see, they are single piece unarticulated,
Yeah.
which I've gone down from the 20 to 40 pieces that I used to put in things because I don't have as much time to work on things these days, and so I want to make my work easier for myself, because it's like I want to be able to enjoy the time I'm working on it and create things, and also simplify some processes that, like, these are prints right now. These are 3D sculpts and prints, but I will do some casts of them in the future. But I feel I've probably if not on the show, I've talked to individuals about it in the past, that I've always kind of been at odds with how much waste I create making these things. That it's always bothered me, and it's not like, it's still a creative outlet for me, so I don't like, I'm not just gonna like cut it out. So I'm just trying to reduce that excess trash that I make. And so these are redesigned so that they can both print, and they can print supportless. So there's not that trash that's happening. They can be cast ventless. So it's
nice.
like there's no sprues, no vents, no nothing. So it's like I'm still casting things and printing things in toxic resins. So it's like, it's not like I solved the equation, but
Yeah.
I've brought
Reduce.
my personal waste down a little bit, and kind of embraced the painting again. That to like get back into the paint apps over the tints.
The other
So
day, I had your clever girl up, and I'd kind of just forgotten that it was up on the screen. I'd been looking at it and stuff, and then I got doing something else here, and my partner's sitting behind me on the couch, and finally she's just like, "Can you please get that fucking thing off the screen?" And she's like, "I don't know what it is, but I'm really tired." And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, I'm so sorry. I forgot I'd had it just sitting up there." But
You're
so
like,
then
hold
we've
on,
been
I'm
looking
almost
at
done. I'm
things.
almost done.
Well, all right. Oh, jeez. No, Porpoise, man, you're actually like a Toronto vet at this point. What are you most looking forward to coming down here besides the show? There's got to be some like go-to food dens or
uh
hangouts that you're dying to hit.
if I can fit it in, it's very simple. I want to go to Left Field Brewery. Um, assuming it's still there. It's been, you never know. Sometimes these breweries only last a couple years, and then they off into the ether somewhere. But there's um, there's a few places like on my drive up that I want to hit as well. There's unfortunately, it often revolves around small breweries and whatnot. But there's some places in Niagara on the Lake that I want to stop. There's I'm gonna stop in Hamilton to see Dre on the way up, because he's helping me out with getting to and from the show. And
Nice.
so yeah, just popping into a few odds and ends and just having a good time.
So if you're getting help from Dre to go to the show, are you staying at Dre's house? Are you guys slumber partying?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dirty. That's exciting, man. Dre, what are you excited about
It's
coming
it's
down
completely above board. It's
Yeah, it's all above board. Just kicking the dog and the wife out.
here? Oh, nothing's.
Just a dog morsel.
I see how it is. What are you excited about coming down to Toronto for, man? What are you missing down here?
Everything, man. I miss you. I miss all Dom, Scott, and all the new people we get to meet. Like, it's going to be a really fun show, I believe. I've been working my butt off, but I haven't really created too much new pieces, like maybe 2 new pieces, and then revisited old stuff and repainted a bunch of stuff and made header cards for stuff as well, too. So,
So been
yeah,
going nuts.
working all that in the last few days because that's what I always do. I do things right until the last minute.
It's how it's to be done.
Yep.
That's how it's to be done.
I
That
think
is
we
how
all do
it's-
that.
Right?
Yeah, I think everyone does. Having
Yeah.
multiple conversations with everyone in the scene, like it's always like, oh yeah, I got just last 1 more minute of paint or whatever, this, that, or 1 more cast, or it's always like that, right? So
Doc Horror, you've been pretty quiet over in the corner there, man.
I was gonna
What's
say,
up?
bro, somebody asked Doc Horror a question. God damn it.
Dude,
Thanks for having us.
No, you're jumping like feet first into this whole scene, man. Please enlighten
Yeah.
us. How are things? How is things moving? How does it feel to be a cog?
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm super stoked. It's an honor to work with Scott and Jay. These guys are amazing dudes, and we've gotten along really well.
Can I just say there is no way that Dominic is a cog. He is definitely a piston and a driving force behind the
No, you're not allowed to say that, but we'll let it
Well, I
slide
just did.
tonight.
show. Anyway, sorry to interrupt, Dom. Go ahead.
That's all
I don't
good.
even know half the diction that was just used there.
Yeah, no, I'm just having a blast, and yeah, we're a great team. We all have the same goal in mind, same passion for the art, and no egos. We're plugging away here, getting tasks done, enjoying it, and yeah, it's like a dream, man. Like I can't believe it's just around the corner.
Is this your first show that you're tabling at?
No. I've tabled with Scott and Jay at probably a couple. It seems like more than it actually was, but probably 2 or 3
Nice.
this year as
Yeah.
LA Plastic Syndicate. So we share a table and hang out for the day. It's a blast. And then I tabled last year. That's where I met Jay, and it was my first show with Dre, LM9, Jay, Von Fake Name. That's when he drove down the first time.
Nice.
So yeah, it's but yeah, totally looking forward to this. Looking forward to meeting everyone. Brett, Matt.
Yeah, dude.
Nice to meet you, B.
Nice
online
to, I was
here.
just gonna say, bro, I don't think we've ever met, dude.
No,
we
man.
need to have you on as just a solo shot, man, and talk shop for a while, dude. I'm excited for you, man. Honestly, it's are you local there in Toronto?
Yeah, I live in the city, so
Nice, dude. What
yeah.
a
When it
score,
first,
man.
sorry.
I was gonna say, what a score! A show like this coming to Toronto.
Oh man, yeah. Like when I first heard Scott and Jay announce it, like I reached out to them immediately, and I just said, "Listen," because we were already keeping in touch and talking and stuff, and I just said, "If there's anything I can do to help you guys, let me know." And then, they were looking for another member for LA Plastic, and I answered the call and was put through some some rigorous
And I,
initiations.
answered the call.
Yeah, I was put through some rigorous initiations and hazing ceremonies, but I came out on
There
top.
you go.
So.
Look at Grayskull Toys in the comment. I'm Jay, by the way. When they're saying Jay, they're talking about me. So Matt, I got a question for you, buddy. Now you're going there, and you are obviously running the wildly successful Assembly Required. I say, what is it that you are looking forward to the most? Tabling is probably a little bit of a different setup for you on an event like this, but going from a promoter who's holding a show of this size or even bigger, what are some of the things that you're kind of looking forward to at this show, just besides meeting everyone?
Oh, man, this is history in the making. That's what this is. As soon as Scott announced it on this show, being interviewed for Assembly Required, in that moment, I was like, I got to be there. Like, it's having Scott had mentioned how this was Assembly Required was an inspiration for this show, and it's just like it's such an amazing feeling. And quite honestly, it took a long time for another show to pop up. Like I was expecting after creating Assembly Required that we would see independent shows popping up left and right. Once everybody's just like, hey, because after I did it, everyone was like, oh, I was about to do that or I wanted to do that. So I was like, all right, it was just a matter of time but when these things start popping up, but they didn't start popping up, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I guess people don't have the time or the energy or the money or whatever. So I get it, but this is exciting because this is really the next independent show coming out of our culture directly. And the way that that team is approaching it up there, no charging at the door, very like they're approaching it from a nonprofit organizational aspect. And Scott and I have talked about this before because business models are very different, and
Sure.
it's very honorable to just see this whole thing develop. And I've been in the wings, and every once in a while I check in and I'm like, hey, need any help? All right, cool, I'm over here. And
Yeah.
like I like they're doing it, and that I'm proud. I'm really proud of them, and I wanted to be a part of it as an artist because I don't get to do that. I no longer, like, it's been 2 years since I've been in the studio. So this gives me the opportunity to actually go back to, my roots, to be the artist that I have always been, but was, when I'm not worrying about how to, fit X amount of tables into the diagram and like make sure
Sure.
everybody has power and blah, blah, blah. I'm behind the table now. So it's exciting, but also just to be present because, like I said, it's history in the making.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to interject. I'm so sorry because I'm talking like crazy tonight. But
Oh, okay.
you mentioned tabling. I've got to ask you about these dudes, man, because like you said, we normally kind of see you typically as more of like an event organizer. What the hell are these? How many are there going to be? What are we looking at? What's going on here?
So I do Little People. I found, like, I wanted to create a form that was familiar, and everybody's was doing 3 3/4, and that was like a big part of our childhood. So I found a form which was Little People that
Yeah.
speaks to me, and so I create Little People. I did Escape from New York and Flash Gordon, and a little bit more obscure. I waited on the Star Wars stuff because it's the popular stuff. It's like I wasn't going to go right for Boba Fett because that's the popular stuff. So I was just kind of coming at it from a different angle. But these guys have been in the back of my mind for a long time. So I really wanted to create these guys for years, and I actually was going to do something different for the Toy Riot, but April's been nasty to me, man. My pressure pot went down. I had to get a new compressor, one thing after another. So I had to change directions, and I just went straight for sculpt and paint for these guys. And I will have 4 or 5 painted sets, but I'll have a bunch of blanks pulled in different color resins.
That's a lot of work, man. Those look great, by the way, dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oof. Oh, bees appeared there. Excellent. Now, where are we at here? Yo-Yo Dine, man.
Mm-hmm.
What has been the most exciting part for you about getting this all together?
I mean, there's so much, right? It's just in terms of like the work level has been so exhilarating just on its own leading up to it. Honestly, like, in terms of everything else, like my favorite part so far, like going postering with Dominic, right? Like we're doing it like street level. You know, I've been Jay, sorry, Grace, Grayskull and Doc Horror and I, have been meeting every Monday night at 7 o'clock for like 6 months. And that's just become like a good hang too, right? Like we talk about stuff, but we also share, and you know, it's just good to sort of get to hang out with like a crew like that once a week. In terms of just like other sort of moments, like seeing sort of the cross culture, like the cross section of different people who are like noticing in the city and like reposting, has been great. Just hearing people, like literally one of the people who has a studio in the same space as me, I saw her yesterday and she was like, I can't wait for the weekend. And I was like, wow, amazing, right? Like, so just, yeah, I mean, the whole process, I used to curate like a digital art festival in another life. And this already is so much more satisfying than that. And I think it's because of the fact that it's just way more ground level, and this is where I like to be, you know. And that thrills me. I think bringing in new people has also been really exciting. Like one of the things that we decided to do, we had a few people drop out, and so we ended up with an extra table. And instead of sort of hunting people down, we actually gave it to, I teach at OCAD University, which is the big art school here. And they have a plastic studio where I do my vacuum forming, and they have a club of students who love working in plastic. And so we invited them and gave them a table, and then they themselves put out an open call to the student community to ask them for work that was like toy like, that they're also going to bring. So they immediately, instead of just like the core member of the executive of this club, instead of saying, oh great, we have a 4-foot table, let's fill it with our stuff, they were like, let's open this to everybody as well. And so, you know, let's be honest, look at the demo in this video. We need new generations of makers in this community. Right? Like, or it's, you know, we want to pass it. Like, I think there's a way to sort of pass it on. And yeah, so that for me was like a really exciting development that sort of happened.
Now, you guys, I think you're wearing one as well. Doc Horror, you're rocking that sick ass Toronto Toy Riot shirt. You have those beautiful satchel bags as well. How do people acquire those? I think we're going to be getting asked that a lot over the weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna have a merch table at the show, and yeah, be selling them. We can
How
do
you
like
get them? Well, we're gonna have a merch table, so yeah.
yeah, we're gonna sell them at the show, and then after the show, I think the plan is to put them online.
Even that is, it feels like that's kind of a new thing, and maybe I'm wrong, but is that something that typically happens at shows, like the event organizer having like a merch table as well?
It's just good branding, man.
I like it, dude. It's like being at a fucking hardcore show.
Look, like, you know,
Yeah.
Matt has an assembly required tee that a different artist has done every year.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is a great thing. I think it's a great thing too for the artist there to be able to take something away, right? Like that is like just a reminder. And there was some, you know, there's like, you can probably see by the way that we've also been sort of like talking about it and pushing, there is a kind of punk ethos here that make this is like, you know, that we want to maintain and put on Front Street. And like, you go to a punk show, you buy an indie silkscreen shirt, right? Like that's the thing. And so yeah, we were like, let's do that. And also you can get them, we're doing giveaways as well. There's the first 15 people in the door on Saturday get a free tote with goodies in it. Stuff from the Nerdy Duo TNT Toy Box. They sent us a few things alongside their community table stuff to give away, so we're going to throw some goodies in those bags. The Toy Riot playsets, the mini playsets, and DKE Toys sent a bunch of stuff as well for that giveaway. And also for we have raffles. So go to a vendor, spend $20. The vendor will give you a ticket. You will drop that ticket off at the merch table in this bucket, which has yet to be repainted with Toy Riot branding.
Nice.
It's waiting. It's on the list for the airbrush work I'm doing tomorrow. And then twice each day, 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, we have raffles where it's another tote bag as full of a bunch of other stuff, both from us and from DKE, and some other artists have actually offered as well to throw some goodies in there. So
Nice.
you get in for free, and then the potential for free stuff. You just, like, if you're one of the first dozen people through the door, it's like you get into the show for free and you have this amazing silk screen bag, a toy, a zine, some like DKE Garbage Pail Kids collector cards, like all that stuff. Like, you know, so thank you to Dove for being so generous as well, for helping us out with something. Great.
Nice.
Super Terrible Toy keychains are coming as well.
Nice.
So yeah. And then we'll probably we'll sell them. We'll do an inventory after the show, and then we'll sell whatever we have left online. And if we need to make more, we'll probably make more. Dom, like I imagine.
Sure. I think,
Yeah, different, maybe a different obnoxiously bright color next year.
I like the pink.
Yeah, I'm
Teal?
very fond of the pink too. I just love the idea of an entire room full of middle-aged men wearing a pink t-shirt that is bright pink. It's amazing to me. Yeah.
Kevin Coldcuts is in the comments, and he said he's got some giveaways as well. Kevin Coldcuts, I believe this is going to be one of his. I don't know if it's his very first show or probably first show of this scale. As far as, and this could be a question for any of you guys. You guys have all done shows before, but as a new guy coming into a show like this, is there any advice that you give them to say, hey, you know, it's going to be like this, or you want to make sure you absolutely do this, don't forget this? What kind of things are you telling people who are kind of newer to the show? It seems like there's at least a couple of them out there.
I'm would be the worst person for this, because anybody who has tabled with me knows I forget half of the things that I should have, and then I wander off like an Alzheimer's patient looking at shit all the time, and I'm barely ever at the table. So someone else should be. Don't do as I do, for sure.
Well, this being the first one, it's going to be, you know, it's going to set the standard. We'll know moving forward who's got the glue. You know, like we know at AR who's got the glue. It's usually Cool Cat. He's got a whole box full of like fix-it tools. But yeah, you know, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting, and the newness of it is part of the excitement. Is everybody is jumping in to like support this and make it happen, because everybody wants it to be a success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Grayskull had a good point right there. He says have items at different price points, which I think is really good. Brett, you always have a table that's always got like higher end stuff, and then kind of stuff that's in the middle, and then some kind of loose, like static 3.75s. Is that something that you keep in your mind? This is for Brett. Like that kind of flow, like the table setup, even though this show kind of seems like it's more, I think as an artist, probably it sounds like it's more, not maybe more, but it's very much about the experience of being there and being with everybody. But going into the show, is like price points and stuff like that, is that still like part of the formula that you're trying to work in?
Yeah, it's something that and I'm sure everybody's going to agree to this one, that it's like the pricing is always, that's like the big thing. It's like, because I think I agree that it's like, having things at different price points is important, because you want to be able to be accessible to all sorts of people, and that, but like it's always difficult, because when you think about the time and like human passion that is put into all of our stuff, even I think even some of the people charging a lot of money for things, like none of us are really like, we're all kind of selling at a loss.
Yeah,
and
big time.
and that that kind of, I think, because it's, yes, it's toy adjacent art, that like it's, you see these small things, and there's this notion that, oh, it's small, it should be cheap, and so you kind of do want it to be cheap and accessible to pull people in, but you also kind of want to respect yourself and your own time that you've put in. And so that's a lot of words to say that it's a difficult it's a difficult
Yeah.
thing. And and it's like, I've kind of hit a point where it's like there's an additional level of difficulty with it for me personally, because I've kind of been shifting into like a more, just for the lack of a better term, like fine art focus. I still don't think it's quite, that's not quite what I'm doing, but it's like toy inspired fine art, and so it's kind of in this weird other space within this small like, if that makes sense, that
Sure.
so I don't really have a clear answer to that.
No, and that's cool, man.
but
I mean,
but I
I
think,
think,
yeah.
yeah, I think you and I have been to, and everybody here has been to enough shows where, at Assembly Required, what's really interesting about that show, man, is you have people that are coming in from out of state that are really hardcore collectors that want to get involved and know and talk to the artists and really talk about the pieces and how they're created. And then you have, the mother and son that are just kind of walking by and said, "Oh, toy show, fucking A, let's go to a toy show and pop in there and see what's going on." Um, for now, anybody can answer this. Brett just kind of detailed, and from what I said and what Brett said, that's two very different people that are attending the show. Someone who's there just because they hear toys and they're like, "Oh shit, that might be cool." Then other people are like, "Oh man, this guy makes them this way, and I love it. I'm a collector of his stuff." When you guys are tabling and making stuff, is that across anybody's mind saying like, "Hey, I want to make sure that I have a little something for everybody," or is it like, "Look, this is my stuff. If you're interested in it, very cool. If you're not, also very cool. Whatever you want to do." But do you guys have that in your mind at all, just as artists, as far as trying to make, like Brett said, his table is accessible with price point, but also with like the variety of stuff that you have?
Yeah,
I don't.
would go ahead. I mean,
No, after you, Dre.
I was just gonna say, like, I do have different price points, and I do like to try and cater to maybe like the new person coming in, and having like little minis and little cutesies as well, right? Like something like that, just to maybe draw somebody into the art form of just casting stuff or bootlegging toys or sculpting. So I like to try to have like a couple little minis for $5, and then I will charge whatever for my newer stuff, and so on and so forth. But there's always something in your mind sometimes too, like when you're doing these shows, is like, oh, do I create something that's fully accessible to everyone, as far as a fan based kind of thing like Star Wars or something that everyone knows, and then I don't know, I lost my train of thought, but but a lot of times I like to create my own characters and see if people enjoy them and go from there. But
Yeah.
I do always have that in my mind of like maybe creating something more accessible to everyone. I don't know.
Sure.
I think it's a crossover from the artist to the salesman kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like artists are not used to typically being outgoing and talking to people. So this definitely puts them on a stage, and a lot of people have become comfortable with that because they realize they love talking about their work, and people when they come up and they ask about their stuff, it feels really good to talk about it, and the fact that they're excited to listen to you talk about it is just, it's cyclical. But the salesmanship of it, having the little accessible things, like it's a tool and it makes sense. There's a lot of different techniques, sales techniques that people, if they want to go that far, that you can do, and there's ways to engage your audience and bring people to your table. At bigger shows, you see those strategies used on a much larger scale. I think the little accessible things are a way to do that, is to people can get scared by some of the bigger price tags or the bigger pieces. So if they see the smaller pieces and a smaller price tag, it might be a little bit more, engaging, to approachable is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, agreed.
Part of it too with a show like this is trying to highlight to people who are uninitiated that everything is handmade. Because people see a resin cast toy and they'll be like, that's a plastic toy. How is that handmade? So the mix of people that we have, because we have people who are working in polymer clays and plush and other media, I think will help highlight that sort of more globally at the show.
Yeah.
When it comes to a strategy for me, I honestly, and I think it would come as no surprise to anyone when I say I just kind of make what I want. It is of varying sizes and varying degrees of recognizability. Like, I've been obsessed with catchy size like Godzilla toys now forever, right? So there's always something. I think that pop culture is sort of the language that we all speak. So recognizable objects are also a really good way to do that. Like, oh, you made your own character X or Y, you know? And that also I think can go a long way to, as Matt said, I think, the conversations that you can have with people, whether they know our world or not, are like really great opportunities to like learn about somebody else's interests too, and like talk to them about it. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think that most of us probably express ourselves, like Matt was saying, most of the time we're alone in our own spaces, sort of dropping stuff online, and we're just kind of making what we want, and then that generally just extends to the shows. But also, I think it also speaks to what Brett was saying about the waste issue. Like, we all have dump molds and stuff. Why? Because we don't want to waste this material. And then that gives us varying sizes and shapes of things that can also populate a table very well. Every drop of resin is expensive and precious, right? Like just sitting there watching the drops come out of the paper cup, just
scrape them out.
Yeah,
it feels blasphemous when you're standing there and you have some and you're looking at all your molds and everything's topped up and you're just like,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
Would
totally,
you,
man.
Would I'm gonna ask whoever wants to grab this one, go ahead. Would you rather have somebody walk up to your table and buy you throw whatever dollar amount you want at $5 to $10 piece, or would you rather have them have a 5 to 10 minute conversation about your process and how you make what they're seeing on the table? Anybody?
A little bit from column A, a little bit from column B.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sure.
Yeah,
Both are
little of everything.
If they could buy it, and then that would be great, and then we could talk about it.
For sure.
Yeah, it seems like people that have never seen this before, when you start to explain how it's made, their eyes really open and they get interested, right? And I really like that. I like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
exposing, the techniques and the process to people, and I think, yeah, I mean, whether they want to buy something or not, but usually then they'll probably buy something small, right?
Yeah.
And because of other pop-up markets that we do here in the city, where often OPS is like the only like group of people in the room making toys, like, whether it's, we do this event here called Toronto fairly frequently, which is run by this guy Nick, who's also got a table at the show because he's also a toy maker and a bootleg VHS guy. And so, VHS collectors, zine makers, like, we've shared rooms with those kinds of people. And so their audience has seen our work, and that's where these conversations have really I think, I don't know, sort of solidified the commitment to doing this show, right? Okay, let's do that, but just make it all about the medium that we work in. But the cross community exposure, again, that we've already had, and I think the conversations that we've had have been really lovely. Like you were saying, Crumbs, about Donut Hustler, she's primarily a painter, but also, you know,
Stickers.
is like, yeah, also sort of like very excited about this, you know, and they're like, we know one or two people mutually sort of in between us, so we follow each other and stuff, and it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, you know, just seeing that people are interested in this. And again, like the thing I think that people forget is like, what medium is more accessible and ubiquitous than toys? Name one. Right? I mean, maybe print media, okay, but like beyond that, like, you know.
Well, it's funny you bring up the crossover in mediums, and what's funny about that is all those people who might typically not even be necessarily into toys, they might still be the ones that they want to scoop them up at the show, and that's where you're going to still have your keychains go, or like those little $5 pieces, sticker
Magnets.
packs, any magnets, yeah, because they're still looking to support in some way, and they might not have a huge budget because they're not looking to grab like a toy, and for them, because they're not looking to grab a toy, 25 still might be too much for them, but going home with that coaster, magnet, sticker pack, whatever, it still scratches that indie support for them and memory bank for them. Would you say that kind of is dictating or driving how you guys are currently kind of stocking your tables?
Well, I've got these resin cast skull and crossbones that I'm turning into badges as we speak. Uh, so yeah, I mean, it's nice to have other, you know, other like stuff that is, yeah, made of the same material, but perhaps not a toy in the way that, you know, that we think about it. And often just having those things there is that another great way to engage and just get someone interested enough that, yeah, you have the conversation, but they also see something that they you know, that resonates with them perhaps more than like, you know, having a collection on a shelf or something they can wear, something they can put on their fridge, like Dom was saying.
I like that, dude. I like the not only the price point variation, but I think the goods, like the soft goods, or you know, stuff that, like you said, t-shirts, hats, whatever, stuff like that. I think that's a good addition if people aren't really into the toy thing. You know, I think just for me as a collector, now speaking from a collector, um, for me to have something justified like a general purpose piece, right? Like the larger, let's say above a 3.75, very intricate, very well done, lots of articulation. I know that personally. I know Brett personally, so I don't mind spending whatever he's asking for that piece, right? But for him to get to that point with me, there had to be conversation. Obviously, I've known Brett for years now, but there had to be a lot of soft skills, I think, probably from both of us, to become a collector of Brett's stuff, right? Like, I like Brett as a person. I love Brett as a fucking artist. And so I want to collect his stuff, right? How much emphasis do you guys put on that aspect of it? Because let's be honest, man, when you walk into a show like that, and if you're expecting, especially for the people who don't know how it's made, who are expecting to just see a room full of toys, and they walk by and they see a piece of vinyl or a resin for 40, 50, 60 bucks, and they're like, holy shit. You know, do you guys put any emphasis on, okay, well, I'm going to have to sell this, and I'm probably going to have to sell my process. Maybe I don't have to sell me as a person. Um, but then again, that's also a strong point of it, right? I've had many purchases in the community where I buy stuff, not necessarily because I like the piece, but because I really like the artist and I really want to support them and see them do well. But as far as like the soft skill part, do you guys put any emphasis on that at all? I mean, I know in the artist world, sometimes like soft skills are not the strong point of a lot of people. And I think that's just across the board. That's not just the art community. I think we might see it a little bit more in the art community because although it's one thing, I think it's very individualized. But just kind of an open question to anybody. I mean, that's something that we never really talk about is the soft skills, but I think the soft skills play a major role in selling those kind of higher to the
I
public dollar stuff.
that's an interest. That's like that's yeah. I think about that all the time. But I think it's I do think about those things about like okay let's see if I can well here just like okay these two things they're similar. Obviously this one's bigger, but they're to like unquote like I hate to even use this terminology, but like the untrained eye, they're not that different.
Sure.
And I'd probably I think I had a few of these in Philly. Think these were like $75, and I'm thinking that this, which is like smaller, is probably still going to be around 50. And so I've had questions of, well, why? Like, what's and if you want to get into the nitty gritty of it, it's like, okay, this is 7 pieces. There's a moving jaw, but it's fairly simple. But it's big and it still takes a lot of time to put together. While this small thing you'd think would be like equivalently cheaper based on size, I probably spent 3 hours just painting this.
Yeah.
And then like there's like additional details, like it's gonna be hard to see. But I visited Zymat's studio recently and he gave me a little bag of crystal rhinestones. And so it's like I rhinestoned the eyes on some of these figures. And so it's like it's a small thing, but there's a lot of work in it. And I this is a hard way to say it, and I'm taking up a lot of time, but I don't mean this to sound the way it probably does, but it's like I don't really feel like if we get into the point where we have to justify the price that we put on something, you're already probably speaking like that person's probably not in the market for what you have. And that's fine. That's totally fine. Like that's not a bad thing. It's like everybody's looking for different things. And so
And it might even be for right now.
yes.
You-
Yeah. And maybe they'll come back.
Yeah.
And
How do you spell rhinestone?
I hope
Rhinestone.
I hope that things just like the quality of something speaks for itself and I see it. I see other people's stuff and I see what their prices are. I'm like, oh no, like that makes sense. Like because I'm in this and so I see like I can see like I bet even if maybe I'm not right, like I have a baseline of like I can see how much work went into what was made and that it's like, oh okay, you're asking $200. It's not really, it's kind of out of my wheelhouse. I would love to have it, but I totally get it and I'm not going to try to like whittle it down. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to haggle. And
we also have at the show a couple of Sotheby makers here in Toronto as well.
number 2
Nice.
combo.
Number 2 combo and seismic toys, right? So like we would assume that if their audience is coming too, that they understand what those things are. I've been thinking a lot about this too, and I think that you're right, Brett. If you have to, you know, if someone sees the price on something and they're already stepping into this, but why? Like it's kind of like, is that battle worth fighting, right? Honestly. But also I would say this, there's a boon that we have right now that I don't think we're acknowledging, and that is the fact that mass-produced licensed objects often cost around the same amount of money as these handmade ones. So if you have a Star Wars Black Series or a Marvel Legends or a fucking, what's the other one that I was thinking of? The G.I. Joe Classified series, right? A mass-produced objects where they are produced in the tens or hundreds of thousands can sometimes cost more than a single piece from an artist in this community. So, like, there's a value question there as
That's
well,
actually
right?
that's a really good comparison because like
Yeah,
a Black Series figure's $50,
yeah,
50 US, like at the low end.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
and
And when you add the exchange, the prices that we pay in Canada for these things is crazy.
yeah,
You know, so I think about it that way too, and I think there's an easy pathway to the conversation. Well, if you're going to pay $30 for, you know, something that a global corporation has produced, you know, why wouldn't you spend an equivalent amount of money on something that was made? I'm not saying that those toy designers don't love what they do, but certainly I can imagine the people who work in the factories are less fond of the job, right?
Right.
Right? Like, you know, and maybe this is like, and this always like comes up with me, but maybe this is like the whole idea of like, you know, I have, as someone who sits very much within the Marxist scale of like ideology, sometimes the whole idea, like, this is where it kind of like can meet capital in an ethical way, which is, you know, connecting the maker to the fruits of their labor in a real way, right? Sorry, I was about to get into the whole like Marxist theory about abstracting our you know, the products of our labor. But here's the real truth: you can support an artist, or you can support like executives and management class.
Yeah.
Right. Pick one.
And
Pick one
honestly,
in this case. Like,
I've said
which
it like
one would you
100
rather do?
times. If you look at a toy, and this is no disrespect to the companies and stuff, but more often than not, you look at the toy from them, and you look at the toy that your buddy made, and the toy your buddy made has a better paint app, has cleaner joints, stands better. It's hard to really justify going and buying those expensive commercial toys when the homies are actually knocking out of the park for the same price, like you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you know, there's something about the fact that these are made with, like, don't want to say love. The secret ingredient is love. Um, but but I think there's also some truth in that, right? Like, why else do we sit in our studios, in our basements, in our garages, in our workshops and make this? Right? And I think that connecting that to it, especially with like contemporary toy collectors or like people who collect vintage, I think that's an interesting place to sort of like situate. Like, hey, how much did you pay for that vintage Turtles? What is his name? Cat Scratch,
oh.
right? Right? Like, you know, think about that for a second. You know, yeah,
Pricing will always be hard to justify. I don't think we'll ever
yeah.
nail it.
I think anyone who ends up putting stuff into the marketplace has to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we're kind of coming up, unless there was anything additional that you guys over at Toronto Toy Riot wanted to get out, before we kick you guys all out kind of one by one here, you want to go through and kind of discuss any like your plans, pieces you're going to have, show anything off, give us any news?
Sure, I will.
Dre, you got it, baby.
So this is the sculpt I did and worked on recently. If I could, there we go.
Yes.
So let's get this light dimmed about. Anyways, he is zombie mouth, spider mouth. Sorry, zombie spider mouth. He's like he's taken from like a candy head that was made from the 80s. And I kind of just did the same kind of style of overspray on him and stuff. So I spent a little while sculpting him, and that took up most of my time because, as I've said before, I have some hand and arm issues. Also doing these little Susie Cyclops.
The Maba heads came out fucking great too, man.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing those paint and like actually using my airbrush for the first time in a long while. So also got some new slappies as well. Just
Nice. Ooh, that sparkle's nice.
yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the show, but time management is poor for me, but I'll have a lot of stuff and it'll be fun and get to see all new people and old friends. And yeah, it's going to be great.
Awesome. There he goes. Here, I'll plug the. I'm gonna plug two things here. One is the exclusive Keshi size mini play sets that we made, or that I
Nice.
made.
Dude, I think everybody wants those bad. You
There
love
are
it.
Those
Go
are
to the
amazing,
fucking
man.
park. Oh, is that a Reptar version?
It's a glow in the dark chase. There's two of those, and they will only be available in the giveaways. One in one of the raffle bags, and one in one of those 15 free tote bags. So I'm doing that. Yeah, it was. I will say this about it. I think it's the first time I've ever made a toy that's an adaptation of a poster. Because it's basically the poster in toy form, right? And then I will show some new travelers here. I know B likes these guys. Done a couple here. They all glow in the dark.
Dude,
They've
I
got
love
back.
your palette on those two, dude. Is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I
that
love
color.
those.
They're so much fun,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, and they've got backpacks now. These robot guys have backpacks.
Those are fun as fuck, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also
dude,
worked. Yeah,
as a buyer, man, I love seeing that shit, dude. A nice 3.75 bagged up, price to sell, ready to go. I think that's a fucking home run for anybody as a collector or just stopping by, man, to get a little something. What a great little snag.
yeah, and I and it's a fun form to play with. Like, this is actually the body from the from the Mork and Mindy and Mork action figure.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, and I've used it. Like, I've actually burnt the molds before and had to make a new one after just so much use of it. They're unarticulated. And then I've also got these three who I call the Star Children.
Damn.
Nice.
Oh, those are
so
lovely.
Those eyeballs are perfect.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and I've been experimenting. I bought a vial of UV resin recently to experiment with some other ideas that I have yet to come to fruition. But it came with like a little silicone mold of just like jewel shapes. And I was like, oh. And so I dyed the clear resin. And then since I have a 3D printer, I have a UV curing machine. So I don't even have to hold a flashlight. I can just throw the whole mold in there and let a whole set cure at once. So just playing around with the form. Like, I like the idea of something that is like kind of recognizable, but also abstracted stuff. And so that's what I've been playing with there. And I'm going to stop and then you're going to kick me out. So I'm going to say, I've been here before, Crumbs. Everyone should come to this show. I think that it's going to be a great community event. Grayskull, Doc Horror, and I are like vibrating with excitement. And we just can't wait to see everybody. Like, let's make this a banger. Toronto deserves something.
Yeah.
Dude,
We all
free
do.
admission, that's so Canadian. And the free
Yeah,
stuff
well.
that is so Canadian.
Yeah. Oh, and for our American friends, they will appreciate this. Speaking of free, I should shout out Toronto Event Generator, which is an indie organization here in Toronto. We were the recipient of a micro grant to help with our costs.
Hell yeah.
And we had the first thing that we did with that was that we ordered for Saturday morning for all of the artists during setup, Tim Hortons coffee and Timbits.
Hey, now.
Speaking of Canadian, yeah. So yeah. And I'm gonna say goodbye before Crumbs.
Oh, he did not.
Got him anyways.
MJ, you're on the spotlight, my friend. What do you got going on? How are you excited? How are you feeling? What's coming with you?
This is so exciting. No, the pieces that you showed, I don't have anything. I was in the studio when we started, and then my phone crashed and everything else crashed. So I had to come inside and play my piano just to calm myself. But Yeah, I don't have anything to show, but yeah, I'll have some new sculpts. Those Cantina creatures are new sculpts, and I have some also dreadnoks that I haven't released to the public. I like made a set, and I only had one made for the longest time, so I actually made 4 or 5 of those painted sets. So I'll have those as well. But
Damn.
I'm just excited to just be there. Like this is just like I said, it's history in the making, and it's going to be an exciting moment just to experience, and I think be around the Canadian culture, the art toy community up there. Like there's so many artists up there that I'm just excited to meet these guys.
What day are you coming in?
We're driving up Friday. It's going to be 14 hours probably on the road.
Oh, damn.
Yikes, dude.
Damn. That is a long drive.
I mean, it's 12 if we don't stop, but then we got to bring bottles to pee in and shit.
Wow.
Comes the whole thing. All
Oh,
right.
and
we're
so
gonna
there
go-
were 2.
There was 2 left. Corpus, we're gonna go with you.
Oh shit!
Oh, all right.
Fill us
And
in, my friend.
second to last. Yeah. So, yeah, I showed the new Clever Girl and the Packy Rhino Swollus, and there's also going to be. This is a set. This is there's an artist from like the 1400s. His name was Daniel Mauch. He was a German, and he has these pair of basswood carvings, Adam and Eve, and so this is biblically accurate dinosaurs, Adam and Eve after Daniel Mauch, that I slightly redesigned. Like here's a copy. Here's like an original body, that like was more true to the original, but I redesigned things to go with the no supports, no vents system, and painted them to look like the original wood versions. But the special thing that there's only a few of these. The whole reason I was up at Zymat's studio last week was to pick up some pieces that he worked with me on, doing some copper
Wow.
plating of there's some copper plated Adam and Eves. There's 2 copper plated Swallosaurs and 1
Stupendous.
Brett the Hitman Porpoise. Canadian legend, or after a
Cool.
Canadian legend. So there's just one of these, but yeah, these were very fun, and I'm excited about them.
I can't believe you're not
Those are
keeping that one for yourself. Damn.
we'll see. If he lasts the weekend, I'll be happy to keep him, but we'll see.
Gord.
But yeah, that's and this might come. This is large. This is head sized. It's the ongoing saga of making concrete tiles that I'm still working out details and like working up the scale until I get to the final size. That's on the way, but that might come. I don't know if I have space.
Damn.
I'm bringing the most important thing. I'm bringing is a hug for Crumbs.
I do love those breadcrumbs, man.
So
All right, Porpoise, man. Well, I can't wait for that. You have a good rest of the night, dude. That leaves Doc Horror
Oh, got
masked
the mask
up.
on.
I figured I'd leave one of the Toronto Toy Riot hosts for last. Fill us in, man.
What's up? Well, yeah, I'm gonna bring a bunch of play sets that I had done before. These Moai guys, probably bring some of these alien dudes with the interchangeable heads.
Nice.
And yeah, I just made this double cast Moai with a little alien dude inside.
Nice.
Base. And just magnets and odds and ends and stuff like that. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. Can't wait to see everyone. And yeah, it feels like a dream. I don't know.
And that's it.
That's it. Thank you guys. Nice to meet you, V. Crumb, great
Absolutely,
to see
dude.
you as always. And
See when I
Crump,
don't
you're being so polite right now.
see,
Look at you.
when I don't boot. Look how awkward it is when I don't just boot you.
I know. I feel like
Savor
Garth
it.
from Wayne's World.
Dude. Okay. Anybody who's coming over there, I would say anybody who's bringing their toys and stuff, a brilliant idea. And I've actually even got a couple. If anybody wants me to bring some for their table, bring a mold. If you've got any molds that you could put on your table, because seeing things really helps people understand how the fuck that works. And when you're trying to tell somebody that it's a handmade toy and it's made out of resin and stuff, being able to just hold a mold and be like, yeah, just pour it in there, clap it together, and gets the brain going. Power cables, tape, super glue, extra magnets. Yeah. We've heard a bajillion times, if you can, go up instead of across.
Yeah. Agree. I mean, I think
I'm
that's
very excited.
one advantage to, tabling at shows before. And it sounds like almost everybody has been at a table, so they probably have some idea of how that should look and how you're going to maximize your space.
Stapler.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, dude, it sounds like it's going to be a riot, I guess, right? And like I said, dude, it's so Canadian for it to be free.
When
But
they
God, dude.
mentioned the Timmies and Timbits, I thought for sure they were going to say Putin at first.
I think we really kind of uncovered a lot of stuff that we should probably talk about at some point on the show, regarding, when I look at our show, dude, I would say, what do you say, 90% are artists? It's a large percent, dude. It's well over 50. So I think the perspective that we get sometimes about pricing and about soft skills and stuff like that comes from a artist point of view. And that artist point of view, sometimes I agree 100%, dude. Other times I couldn't disagree more. And I think it's a very fine thing. It's a tricky thing, man, because it is, because we're saying toys, we have a high price, we want to explain it, we don't want to explain it, we want to pull new people in, we don't want to pull new people in. It's like there's so much going on there.
So what I find tough is, and we've talked about this like a bajillion times, the Dougs, man, they take a lot of work. I don't necessarily have like the workshop a lot of people would have. Maybe that's why some people would be like, well, that's on you. They just take a lot of time, a lot of work. I price them typically around like that 90 to about 120, usually shipping in. We've discussed shipping a bajillion times. You're looking at basically about $40 to $50 just in the shipping off of that, right? And then even then, you usually feel a little guilty, so you try and throw some extras in there, whether it be some stickers, some casts, etc. At this point, you're pricing your work closer to like the $50, $60 mark. And even then, you feel kind of guilty. And it's kind of just like, well, crap, you can only do so much. And then at the same time, there's a price I wouldn't feel comfortable ever charging, and that's just me. But I can't place my feelings on anybody else and what they price on their work. Now, Micah just nailed it on the head, where I sometimes feel weird and what, like, I typically don't sell casts, right? I'll sell Dougs, sick. Casts, the issue is most of the molds I have, I've been gifted. So remove the cost of silicone, remove the cost of like fucking all the materials into making a mold, all the waste, etc. I don't have that. Then you add in the fact that I'm almost always going to be using dollar store pigments, whether that be from if anybody doesn't know this, those eyeshadow kits at the dollar store, great for pigmenting resin. So like sparkles, glitters, all that shit. At the end of the day, one of those $30 kits can probably make like 5 ETs, 5 drippies, 2 freaking heads or something, right? So you're just kind of like, well, shit, dude, for that $30 of resin and maybe $5 of Dollarama supplies. Not to mention, like, I'm going to be seeing super terrible toys. How do I not? I've got one of those sick ass nugs that they made up there, the Crumbs Nugget. You can't tell me I'm not going to then have a little baggie of some fucking stickers and cast for that person. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
Like, now again, Doug's a little different. Pouring something in a cask, going to work, coming home, pouring it out, and going, neat. Different story. I'm also not using a pressure pot. You know what I mean? So again, like when I think about like what other people are charging, that even if I were to, it'd be impossible for me not to be like $2, $1, you know? Because again, for me, I'm thinking to myself, well, shit, it really didn't cost much time or money or materials or energy. Like,
Yeah. It does. I agree, dude. You know, and that's stuff that I can't speak to as an artist. You know what I mean? But and that's part of the whole thing about it, dude. I mean, we talk almost every time we talk about getting your money back out of a piece, and almost
oh,
every time it's a losing deal.
you're never
Um,
going. You know, I've got a piece sitting over there. It's a commission piece. The person in no way asked for it to be as exuberant as it became. But unfortunately, the more you're working on it, the more like, ooh, what if I did? Ooh, what if I did? Ooh, what if I did? And then your own just artistic things come out. Next thing you know, it's actually been like 2, maybe 3 weeks when it was supposed to be like a week, 2 weeks tops. And you're looking at this thing going, I'm happy with this. You know,
yeah.
you're never getting that time back ever, but you know you're sending something out that you're like, fuck yeah, I feel good about that. That person will hopefully really like that. Fuck the other part of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it would be an interesting show, dude, to have a bunch of non-artists on here and just talk about the buying process,
Yeah,
what they're looking for at a show, what
yeah.
turns them off, what makes them purchase, you know,
Well,
high dollar pieces,
even
and just kind
I
of
don't want to.
get a taste of what that, because I think between someone who's not an artist and who is an artist, when it comes to buying, it's a very, very different thing, dude. Very
Well,
different thing.
it is, and at the same time, like I feel bad because this has happened so many times actually, where an artist will do a drop, they're like, oh, the reception wasn't all that good, and they're almost
Mhm.
forgetting like the 1,001 other factors that might be going on, and you might even be one of those people where you're sitting there going, yeah, I couldn't buy one now, and then you got discouraged. You dropped the post, took them off your website, said not doing drops or whatever. Had no idea you even had any left. You know, we're collectors. We're definitely those people that think, oh, guess there's no more left. And then all of a sudden they
Yeah.
bring them with them to a table event, or they do a store drop, or you find it on another like secondhand seller. It's just that you maybe didn't have that at the time. It wasn't that you weren't willing to pay that amount for that piece, or that you didn't think that piece was worth it. You didn't have it at that time. We've all been there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not just money, right? Maybe you didn't get the story that you wanted to buy that piece. Maybe you didn't get the background that you wanted.
Interesting.
Maybe you didn't get the
Yeah.
production that you thought went into it, didn't go into it, and maybe that makes you not want to buy it.
Dude, let's be
There's so many
real.
different aspects of it, dude. There's so many different aspects of it. I will address Zymot's
Please.
question real quick. We should have a show about AI. I'm not against that at all, dude. What I don't want is I'm not going to have a bunch of artists on here who are vehemently against AI and turn it into an AI bashing session where people are, you know, not engaging
Well,
in a conversation from people who feel strongly from both sides. If we can have that conversation, absolutely.
you
But we
know,
are not going to get on here and just trash one aspect of whatever it is without a differing opinion. So if we can find that, or if someone would like to find that artist, then sure, let's do it. It's part of the scene, right?
DNS sent a really, or shared a really great clip with me that I thought it was brilliant because it's almost outside of toys, but it has to do with AI. So somebody essentially used this musician's catalog of music that was uploaded on the internet by this musical artist, right? Uploaded that catalog into an AI to generate a whole bunch of musical content that sounds just like this stuff because this stuff was obviously trending well. Let's make a whole bunch of that, right? Then a distributor decided to purchase the rights to all of that music that was AI based, and then
Yeah.
they decided to say, because I own all this, I'm going to go through and I'm going to have all the websites that have music similar to my music taken down. Well, now you've got this original composer going, well, wait a minute. My original music just got all taken down because it sounds too much like the AI music that was made based on my music.
Yeah.
Sick. Okay. Right. So I mean,
What a
it's stuff like
cluster.
that. I would say if they're going to talk about AI and all that, it's no different than when vegans try and talk about the meat industry. You can't be going on being like, it just makes me feel sad. It's better when you can actually look at like, hey, did you know if the average American stopped eating at least one burger a week, it would be equivalent to like 600,000 car emissions off the road for a year? It's those like actual facts and data and seeing like real hand snowballing effects that then create like a more in-depth conversation on where that path leads instead of it just being it sucks, I don't like it.
Sure.
um
Absolutely, dude. And I think that's, that's a good way to approach everything, dude. I think just in life in general, man, I think, with what I do at work, man, we're always looking for a root cause, right? Like root cause, what made this happen? And then what made that happen? And then what made that happen? Go back even further and further, you just keep digging. And I think that's fair to do. You know what I mean? As an artist, if I were an artist, I would probably be very interested in that same thing. Um, it would be an interesting conversation, dude, because that is the other half of it, right? And I think that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. You mentioned it a lot of time about, and it's kind of like a dirty secret of how money gets passed around at shows and stuff like that. And it's like you have, artists buying from artists, which is fucking great, dude. The support and, I, I don't take cheerleading in a bad form, but it kind of cheering people on and letting them uh do whatever they want and supporting that. That's a big part of it, man. And there's only so many artists in this scene, you know. It's I think for it to really, really grow, and I think it already is, um, there's that other dynamic, which is the customer, the guy who doesn't make anything, the guy who's not going to turn into somebody who makes stuff. And those people are out there. I swear to God, dude, I feel like there's not too many.
but even
But
you've gone to Hertz Place and you sling some resin. How do you not?
well, how do you not? And if I said that I've done that, internally I'd be full of shit, right? I'd be like, I didn't really do that. I mean, basically he did all the work. I kind of got a sense of what's going on, but I'm no fucking artist, bro. Like I don't pour resin. I could
Oh,
probably learn it
so
if I
silly.
wanted to, you know what I mean? Just because of all the availability that I have. But
See,
it's like I said, man, it's another thing. There's two sides to it, dude. And I think that's with a lot of things. There's the grind it out, actual physical doing it, and then there's the other part where you kind of got to sell your work.
yeah,
And
yeah.
there's just a whole different skill set involved in there. Some people are great at it. Some people don't really care about it, dude. You know what I mean? And then that being said, right there, I think that's where we can even get into, are you a hobbyist who's making stuff on the weekend where it really doesn't fucking care? And you can say, well, if you don't have the money for that, I don't feel like I need to explain it to you to buy that.
Yeah.
It's God, there's just so much involved, dude. We could probably do a whole year series on that.
Got a pile of toys there that I really would love to see.
Oh yeah.
That's what I
Yeah,
say
we
about
can
all
do that.
this.
We can do that. Let's do that.
You,
You ready?
yeah, I'm ready. Is that a 2-pack that you have there, or do you just happen to have 2 pieces that
Two
go
separate ones.
really nice? Okay.
Two separate ones. And we will look at both of those. Actually, we'll look at those first. You want to do that? Sweet. Dude, what's funny is how often do you see a piece of vinyl that is this large? This is a
Oh,
Shark Kong from Spumani Toys. Brother, guess how much I paid for this?
okay. It's gonna either be super low or stupidly high.
And what would you go with?
$40.
$35
Oh,
US.
that's stupid. I was trying to guess like embarrassingly low. That is so silly.
That is so silly, dude. $35. This is old stock that he's getting
Wow.
rid of. The card does say 2021 on it, but a very cool piece. I got that one for display. And then this one, the all pink version, that is going to our dude Dirty Yeti up in Michigan, and he's going to paint this bad boy up, see what he can do.
Nice.
But
Gee.
I mean, that is going to be I don't know what Dirty Yeti's going to charge you, but I mean, $35 for the vinyl. I mean, bro, sick. It's a dope one, man. $35. Spumani Toys. check them out if you haven't already. Their MO seems to be larger stuff, you know. It was, you know, the Star Braver figure that they have is, I mean, that thing's probably 14 inches, something like that. That's a fucking beast, man. Um,
That mixed parts one is fucking gorgeous, man.
I'm sorry, say that
That's a
again.
the mixed parts one is just
Yeah,
fucking gorgeous.
yeah,
Like that's one that like it's so funny how that's like a dead stock mixed piece one, and yet it just looks fucking so sick.
yeah. And the one that's on the website, dude, I can't remember if it looked just like this, but I think the line item in the shop was just like kind of like a Frankenstein piece. But I mean, for display, if you're not going to paint that, I mean, I think that's sick.
No, it's gorgeous.
Nice. Yeah, Spumani Toys on that one. Next we'll do this one, dude. This is a Moon King, another vinyl piece. This is all vinyl tonight that we're looking at, by the way. This is a Moon King from Plagued Earth, painted by Decay Toys. Love the
That's
fucking colors.
fucking gorgeous, man.
Oh, I'm telling you, Decay Toys, dude. If you guys have not been on Decay Toys and looked at his paint work, bro, you guys are missing out. Get on there
That
and look at his stuff.
weird yellow drip is really neat.
Yeah, he just posted, I think today or yesterday, that he grabbed some extra of those Craftsman vinyl pieces that just came out, and he's gonna be painting those up and putting them in his shop. But yeah, that's a dope one, man. He's got some really, really good paint work. And his store is always, I mean, it's a continuous thing, man. He's always buying blanks and putting blanks in there. Like I said, this is Plagued Earth. That's from the old Drewster. Sick. Bam.
How big is that thing? Like 3-4 inches?
Probably closer to, yeah, I'd say 4. Yeah, it's like a 3.75, but maybe a little bit bigger. Sick piece though, man. Sweet. That's another good one. This one right here, man. This is a fancy boy right here. This is a Wonderbot
Oh,
from
damn. What
Wonder
the
Goblin.
fuck?
Bro, listen to this story. This is a Wonderbot by Wonder Goblin, painted by Clav9. Clav9 in his story says that he was at somewhere and he literally bought a airbrush gun for the first time. And this round of, I believe there was like 6 one-offs of these for sale. And this is like his first attempt at Safubi painting with an airbrush. And sick, dude. I love the weathered look on there. Freaking awesome. But yeah, dude, these are super, super nice, man. Like I said, they were all one-offs. They all look completely different. But yeah, Wonderbot by Wonder Goblin, painted by Clav9. Clav9 has some just out amazing work, dude. If you guys are into vinyl, you definitely know about Clav9. But yeah, dude, sick piece right there. Nice.
That's one of those types of pieces that you almost want to say it looks like a commercial piece because it's so good, but then you realize commercial pieces aren't that good. Like that's better than off the shelf,
Yeah.
as it should be. Now, how'd you land on that, man?
What's that?
How'd you land on that?
It was posted by Clav9. And
Okay,
you know what?
right,
I
right.
don't know. Yeah, they did a collab post, I think. So that's how I knew it was coming out. But this one, dude, I mean, anything, if you guys are buying vinyl, Wonder Goblin stuff, it goes pretty quick, but he does have like a good stack of stuff. Clav9 stuff, on the other hand, that's hard to come across, especially on the secondary market, and on a drop. Like, you probably aren't going to see, you know, 4 out of the 6 sell and the other 2 sit there for a while. It's not that kind of deal. It's like, if you want one of the 6, you probably got to get in there in the first 5 minutes to snag one. But they're incredible, dude. Clav9 is a US artist, but his work is just fucking sick, man. Super cool. Last one that I have, dude, this one, I can't stop talking about this one, dude. This one, I did a unboxing video. I did a post reel on it. This is a Oh my god, dude, look at that shit.
I'm sure there's probably like in the encyclopedia of color schemes or something. I'm sure there's like a proper name for that, but that looks very Eastern. That looks very like shrine. Yeah, very
Yeah, dude.
godlike. Very yeah.
Obaki synth tank from Maggitarius. This was in the drop. This was the chase in the drop. Right there. Bam.
I blame Toy Story for making it a weird thing that we just love seeing that fucking signature and shit on the bottom.
Yeah, super, super cool, man. This thing, the paint on it is really fucking cool. What I love about this one, dude, is it looks amazing all three ways, just as it is like this. If you put the black light on it, it gives you another look that's fucking amazing. And then the glow on this thing is just so fucking rad. It is like a glow blank with the paint on top. And so the whole thing just super, super lights up. But what a rad looking piece, dude. God
Yeah,
dang it.
that's gorgeous.
Maggitarius, man. I bought some stuff from Figure Fetish over at Assembly Required when he was running the Maggitarius table a few years ago. And this is my first piece from them since then, dude. And holy smokes, man, you start going through some of their stuff on their page and there's just they're amazing, dude. Like their sculpts, their paint work, husband wife team, dude, from the United States. They're fucking awesome, man. Yeah, the weird tank eyes, straight up, dude. Yeah, like the more the detail that you look, right? You got those, dude. And you got the Maggitarius on the back right there.
There's
Super sick.
so much
Yeah.
nuclear waste symbols and fucking
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That sculpt is just stupid, man. There's certain toys that if they weren't beautiful pieces of art, they would be in the on the floor with you every toy time, and I feel like that's one of them. You know. I
Yeah.
would end up driving through at some point, just wrecking all the homies.
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously, dude. It's dude, like the paint on it. That's what what sucks, dude. It never does it justice on camera, of course, but
No,
like it's just so fucking good, dude. I love this piece. This is probably my favorite piece that I've gotten in a little while. Not that anything's wrong with any of the rest of them, but that one really does something for me, man. It's so cool.
it's a beauty, man.
Oh.
All right, let's hop through a couple of these tabby doos, and then we'll let
Yes,
these
Tabby
homies all
Doos.
get on with their evening. We got a little gummy fetus drop, Felis Cactus Salve. This is going to be dropping tomorrow, April 30th, 9 a.m. New York City time. Limited edition of 10. What else we got going on here? Feral Foundry ended up doing a little collab with Jason St. Paul. Now, Jason St. Paul normally isn't a maker, so I ended up actually pulling up these photos because I thought this was a fucking sick piece, man, with the head actually alternating with the gun arm.
Nice, dude. I like those.
Yeah, and of course, Feral Foundry always ends up knocking out of the park. I don't know if you ended up seeing actually their like the fucking workstation they had going for Collecticon was just stupid, man. The amount of freaking robots and shit they have going on right now. Well, what else we got going on here? Swarm original concept vinyl figures available there at the Swarm Co. website. They've just got a full fat restock paint stuff going on. You got
Nice.
Stick-a-Mill dropping a couple of Gizmo Gonzos. Wow.
Yes.
What else we got here? Pedro. So this was actually a new one for me, man. New creature flying to new homes ready near you. Imagon. It's going to make its debut at ToyCon with his first painted run of 5 figures alongside a couple of blanks for those who fancy one. But always down with the figure. Like when you're doing this Afubi body, if the medium actually kind of fits the design and everything, the idea that this fucking wormy caterpillar fits inside of the Mothra, just dope in my opinion. Brilliant use.
Nice, dude. Yeah, was that vinyl or was that resin?
Vinyl.
Nice. Okay.
Edwin Salas Art's going to be over at Toronto Toy Riot this week and come up. This Optimus Pine is just stupid, though.
Mm-hmm.
And like, dude, I don't know if you ended up seeing this, but the fact that it actually transforms into the actual truck and then back into the fucking Optimus, get out of here.
Yeah, nice.
That'll be gone in seconds. That's one of those pieces that it's going to fit a collector who's not even familiar with indie toys. Just seeing something like that, that'll sell in seconds. Caucasian Creations, one of the artists that we've been following recently, under 1,000 makers, just posted this little run of some of the figures they've made over the last year, and it's hard not to be like, damn,
Bro,
there's a lot for grabs there.
I love that post, dude, just because, me personally as a collector, that's my zone right there, man. That's my sweet spot as far as like,
Show me what you got.
yeah, dude, and buy it and display it. Second row, third from the right, that clear green merman with the fucking yellow chest plate. Absolutely, bro. Phenomenal. I like that. And I know that some people look at those and they go, oh, there's not really much to that. I mean, he molded and casted something that already exists with a cool, with a cool colorway. It's like,
I
well,
don't
yeah,
think anybody in
shit,
our
I
scene
haven't
is saying
fucking
that.
seen that before. And as me, as an artist who doesn't give a fuck about that, I love that. As a collector, I love that.
There you go. Pope Toys.
This guy.
This dude can't miss, man. Everything they've been designing recently is just out of the fucking park.
Mm-hmm. Good one, dude. He was showing me his process on that a little bit, dude. The addition of that cape was fucking saucy,
Brilliant.
dude. I like that. Yeah.
Dungeon Sweeper. They ended up actually dropping these when during the what was it, Mutant Sewer Showdown, and they've filled up a bunch of the rocket rafts. I don't know if you remember seeing this during that show, the Dimension X show, but they've now got a bunch of the rocket rafts available up in their store. How am I missing it?
Yeah.
There we go. That's why I'm missing it. So yeah, this is what they ended up doing for the Sewer Showdown 2 Snot Rocket Raft. You've got a bunch of just port colored ones now in the bio.
I gotta stop you just 1 second, my bro.
Yeah.
Because I did not do the Kevy Cold Cuts giveaway. All right. So we're gonna do the Kevy Cold Cuts giveaway real quick. I'm gonna show a piece, and then we are going to, if you want to be in the giveaway, Crumbs, you need a couple seconds to set that up.
Just like 2 seconds.
Cool. We're going to comment the word riot, RIOT, if you want to win a Kevy Cold Cuts giveaway, which we're going to get into right now, man. It's a nice bag full of stuff. We are going to give that away. If you want to, so in the comments, if you just put the word riot, RIOT, you will be automatically entered into win this pack of goods that we are looking at right now. This is a Toronto Toy Riot. Oh man, this is very cool. I don't know what is that going on here. This is a little Toronto Toy Riot like program / zine.
I think that's actually Kevy's first like zine. Yeah, Kevy Cold Cut's first zine. They were throwing that together when we were first interviewing them. They were discussing putting together those zines, and bam, therapy.
Yeah, dude, I like this. This is the stock on this, dude, is nice thick stock. This is no bullshit right here. Take a look at that, dude, in this issue. Nice job.
Also, I'm glad that it said it's zine.
Sure, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, okay. America.
Yeah, fucking whatever it is. This is cool, man. I like that. That's one of the things that's in there. What do we got here? This looks like a magnet of some original artwork, either that or a print. I'm not going to take it out of there because I don't want to get it all jacked up. But how about that? Nice looking artwork there. Yeah, dude. We got Stray Bullet. Here's some more original artwork, framed up even. How about that? Nice. That will be in the pack. These are the Graveyard Gangstas. How about that, dude? Couple little resin pieces going on right there. This is a another one. Damn, another resin piece right there. Kevy Cold Cuts supplying the giveaway for tonight. Look at that hand-drawn sticker. That's very cool. And this is another collectible trading cards. How about that? That's funny, dude. We were talking about a bunch of different stuff at the show that you could have at your table. How about trading cards, dude? That's something that we don't come across very much. Trading cards and some artwork and some resin pieces from Kevy Cold Cuts. Comment the word, it's a frame print. Comment the word riot, RIOT, to be entered into that. So thank you, Kevy Cold Cuts, for that. I think, when we were talking about newer artists coming to the show, Kevy Cold Cuts is the guy that I have in mind when I was asking those questions. But I think that's exciting for him, dude. I told him that I'm very excited for him and just
I
that
know he's
whole thing,
done.
dude.
I've seen he's done a couple of like shows, and when they were on, they had mentioned doing a couple of shows. I find what's so tough is a lot of those shows in smaller communities end up often being like crafts markets, which is fine,
Mm.
but you can sometimes feel a little bit like an outcast when you're making stuff like this. That said, Jemaho Creations knocking it out of the park again with this beast that's now up in their store, available for sale.
The colors on that dude, god dang, love that shit.
This is like one of those kind of pieces that when you're casting away in the kitchen or something, you're kind of like, oh, I'm doing fine. And you sit down, you look at that, and you're like, but I'm not making that. You know? You got your little ET,
Oh
you're like,
man,
damn, the marbling on this little ET is pretty good. Oh, fuck, Jeva. Yeah,
that's good, dude.
that's
The
a beast,
forearm, dude.
man.
He's got that forearm 5.5 down, man.
Now, this artist we ended up actually bringing up last week, and we were looking at their pieces, but I'm a little creep, and I went digging on their page, and I was really blown away by the fact they've got an intriguing video series that goes into designer toys, original characters, and the people behind them, and they really dig into, like, I love it even here, about character design, collecting, and about why a figurine can sometimes mean more than it seems. And that, for me, I was just like, hot damn. So, of course, I started clicking on some of these. If you guys were interested in more toy content that is a little bit more sophisticated, it exists over at Sergei Safanov. And this was one of the makers we were looking at last week, primarily
Yeah.
these guys here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they run a pretty sick, interesting little YouTube channel as well. I'm gonna stop sharing that. And I think we've kind of given you guys enough time that we should be able to pull this wheel for the giveaway. Anything you wanna say to get out of your mouth before we give it a little?
Just honestly, man, thanks everybody for coming on tonight. I know those shows that we do where we have multiple people, sometimes they get a little congested a little bit, but I thank you everybody for coming on, giving us your points from the show. I'm excited for everybody. I'm jealous as fuck that I'm not going. I'm excited for you, dude, to fucking meet all these wonderful people that I've had the pleasure of meeting of multiple times. Great people. And it's gonna be a good thing, dude. It's so different. You know what I mean? It's the same but different. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart, dude, where it really feels like a Canadian show. You motherfuckers are so nice up there. Free admission, free this, free that, community table. Bro, that is so on brand with Canada. That aspect of it, I think, was a fucking home run.
You know,
Um,
it's not a Canadian thing. I wish I could say it was, but you got to look at who's doing the show, man. Yo-Yo Dying, Grayskull, Doc Horror as like the three, and then you look at dudes like fucking Dr. Dre coming in here today, and Grace and General Porpoise and stuff, and Matt Casal. It's like not only were the people putting it together all gems, but they really rallied a really beautiful grouping of people as well. So
yeah,
that's more what it is.
yeah, I agree, man. And Scott, dude, it's when you talk about, I think, the history of this community, and then even going further of to stuff that's happened previously to get us to where we are now and where it's going. I don't know of anybody else that I would rather talk to get legitimate good information than Scott with a K. That dude he knows his shit. What No better person to put on this show.
Scott and Folklore, if we ever brought those two dudes in at the same time, you and I'd almost be afraid to say anything because I know one of them would be like, well, well, because I know everything I'd say would be wrong. I know it. They're just too smart. They know too much.
One of that, I mean, what a gem to the community just to spread that knowledge and then to even attempt to put on a show like this. I think we could probably have another conversation with Scott just about kind of what that show means and how it all came together, and kind of the bigger picture, because I think it's a very, immediately looking at it, it's an independent toy show in Toronto that's got a lot of cool people. Looking beyond that, I think, is where it really gets interesting. This is going to be the base for something hopefully going forward where it can be a kind of repeat event. But what does that look like in the future? You know what I mean? How do you keep pulling in people from the outside? What does this event look in 3 to 5 years? Well, what does that look like? Um, that's all relevant stuff, Graceful Toys, it's all about this beautiful community of makers, and so many people, amazing people, disagree.
Oh, jeez. But left-footed 8309. I'll even show you, dudes, because I might even have what it's called wrong. But this stuff right here, eyeshadow, yeah. Boom. And what's fun is even
What is that?
like right now, eyeshadow, Dollarama eyeshadow.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's what I'll usually use to pigment my resin, and you can actually get ones like every now and then they'll do kitty ones where it's like Hello Kitty, Barbie, and of course there'll be color palettes that go with that as well. Dirt cheap, mixes beautiful. I've never had a problem with it. It's for some reason it's just what I do.
And what a great tip right there, man. Ashley, yeah, I straight up, man. Ash, and that what I really like. This is what I like talking to people who aren't artists. I take that back, Ashley. Ashley is 100% an artist. Toy artist, maybe not so much, but a regular artist, absolutely. And she just did a post within the last day or two. That's fucking amazing. It's very, very cool. If you guys are not following Ashley or don't know about her art, please check it out, man. It's very much worth it. But yeah, I agree, and that's another part of it, right? And it's how important that part of it is to the artist. I think there's a very much varying degree based on kind of the end game. Is it your full-time thing, or is it a weekend hobby thing, or is it an online show thing? And whatever you determine yourself as, I think that is really sets the stage for how you sell, what you sell, when you sell, all that stuff. It's not about just being an artist and being a buyer. There's so much more involved, which I personally love that aspect of it, right? There's so many little different nuances to this scene. It's fucking wild, man. It's crazy. It is really cool.
Like a little micro ecosystem.
100%, man. You know what, dude? Good tip on the eyeshadow too, man. We are always talking about ways to get around pricing and other ways to. I think cheaper is the wrong way. I think monetarily cheaper is probably a good way to say it.
Well,
But also using stuff that you wouldn't like eyeshadow, bro. Me not being an artist, I immediately go, well, how the fuck does that work?
even Fletch mentioned you can dust your molds with it. It's like this piece here had 2 little buttons on it. I literally just used a tiny little paintbrush, dusted the silver from one of the eyeshadow kits into the mold, poured the black, boom, done.
Yeah,
Crazy.
very
You
cool,
know?
man.
Whatever. Spin this only 10, so I mean your odds are looking fucking great.
1 in 10 shot to win a pack from Kevin Cold Cuts. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, exactly, Fletch. It's just
Compacted
compacted
mica.
mica. There you go.
Wisco
Ray.
Wraith, dude.
Getting a big old fat pack of Kevin Cold Cut CAD.
Yeah, dude. Wisco Wraith, thank you very much, man. He actually had a comment a little bit earlier that I kind of skipped over because we were talking about something else. But he had a really good comment about I wish I could find him, man. I apologize, dude. But he had a really good comment about just buying a buyer versus an artist buying. So congrats, dude. Nice pack from Kevin Cold Cups coming your way. If you could please hit me up with your address in at either the show page or my personal page, that would be awesome, man. I'll get this out to you ASAP. Cool. So that'll be cool, man. I don't know if Wisco Wraith. I didn't write Riot Spin again.
Oh. Well, somehow he must have commented at some point during the chat here this evening. That must have been what it is.
There you go.
So
There you go.
So you got it anyways.
You got it anyways. Free Comic Book Day is this Saturday. If anybody is into that, go and check that out.
Hell
That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
Terry, good call, man.
Yeah.
If anybody hasn't ever done that before, it's a great opportunity to go check out some of the local comic book stores around you. Some of them may be participating, some of them might not, but it's always good to at least take a little peek around and find out where those shops are and make some new friends.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Next week, we will hear all about this show. I'm looking forward to that, dude. As far as guests that we're having on the show, I don't really know what's going on next week. I don't have my calendar in front of me. We do have a few guests in the wings waiting to be scheduled, from the likes of Bootleg Toy Co. Suck Lord, I spoke to today. That will happen sooner than later. That'll be a fun one. But again, thanks for everybody for tuning in today, and good luck at the show this weekend, man. Crumbs, I am absolutely jealous, bro. Have a great time this weekend, dude. I'm excited to talk to you to see how it all went, man. Next week should be really cool.
I'm sure I'll bombard the page from the toy page with whatever's going on.
You better. You better.
Good night, guys.